influence without the political baggage of an official military presence. Meanwhile, China continues to expand its economic footprint through infrastructure projects and trade, which indirectly bolsters Eritrea's logistical capabilities, even if Beijing avoids direct military involvement. These partnerships are transforming Eritrea's strategic position. No longer isolated, the regime in Asmara now has powerful backers who see its location and its defiance of the West as assets. These patrons provide media group military technology being delivered in Eritrea, Eritrean soldiers holding advanced weapons, crates marked with foreign writing in military warehouse as stock distribute equally the technology, the weapons, and the political cover that allow Eritrea to act more assertively. They are enabling the current military buildup and, in doing so, are turning the Horn of Africa into a theater for their own geopolitical rivalries. The guns being polished in Eritrea may be held by Eritrean hands, but the shadows of Tehran, Moscow, and others loom large behind them. The primary driver of Eritrea's military mobilization lies just across the border, in Ethiopia. The relationship between the two nations is honestly a long and bloody saga of brotherhood, betrayal, and war. After a brief and surprising alliance during the Tigray War, old tensions have resurfaced with a vengeance. The main point of friction is Ethiopia's renewed and very public demand for direct access to the sea. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, leading a landlocked nation of over 120 million people, has declared sea access a matter of national survival, even questioning the legitimacy of Eritrea's 1993 independence that cost Ethiopia its coastline. This rhetoric has set alarm bells ringing in Asmara. The war of words has been matched by a menacing military standoff. Both countries have been moving troops and heavy weaponry towards their shared border. Ethiopia has deployed mechanized units to its Afar region, which provides a potential corridor to the Eritrean port of Assab. In response, Eritrea has moved its newly mobilized reserves and heavy artillery to fortify its side of the frontier. This tit-for-tat escalation has turned the border region into a powder keg, where honestly, a single miscalculation could ignite a full-scale war. The peace that followed the 2018 rapprochement, which earned Abiy a Nobel Peace Prize, now feels like a distant and hollow memory. This confrontation is not limited to the front lines. Both nations are accused of waging proxy warfare, using armed groups to destabilize each other from within. Ethiopia is reportedly providing support to Eritrean Afar opposition fighters, who aim to create an autonomous region and potentially give Addis Ababa an indirect route to the sea. In October 2025, one such group publicly celebrated the graduation of new fighters on Ethiopian soil. In return, Eritrea is widely believed to be supporting anti-government forces inside Ethiopia, including hardline Amhara militias and factions within Tigray that reject the 2022 peace deal, keeping its former enemy weak and divided. This history of conflict casts a long and dark shadow over the current crisis. The brutal 1998 to 2000 border war, which killed tens of thousands, was fought over small, seemingly insignificant patches of land. Today, the stakes are much higher. Ethiopia's quest for a port is an existential issue for its government, while Eritrea sees this as a direct threat to its sovereignty, for which it fought for 30 years. The alliance of convenience during the Tigray War has crumbled, revealing the deep-seated mistrust that has defined their relationship for decades. The two nations are once again locked in a dangerous embrace, pulling the entire region towards the abyss. Beyond the satellite images and geopolitical chess moves lies a profound human tragedy. For ordinary Eritreans, the renewed militarization is not an abstract concept, but a daily reality of fear and hardship. Inside the country, where information is tightly controlled and dissent is crushed, families watch as their sons, husbands, and fathers are once again taken for military duty. They face rising prices for basic goods and crippling fuel shortages, all while living under the shadow of a potential war. Anxiety hangs heavy in the air, spoken of only in whispers. The dream of a normal life, of peace and prosperity, feels more distant than ever. For the hundreds of thousands of Eritreans living in exile, the news from home brings a fresh wave of pain and worry. They are the ones who escaped the indefinite national service, and they know exactly what this new mobilization means for their loved ones left behind. It means more families torn apart, more young lives derailed, and the certainty that more people will be forced to attempt the dangerous journey to safety. This new crisis is expected to fuel another wave of refugees, adding to what is already one of the world's largest refugee populations per capita. The diaspora watches helplessly, their social media feeds filled with grim reports and desperate pleas for information. The world is watching with growing concern because a conflict between Eritrea and Ethiopia would have consequences far beyond their borders. The Horn of Africa sits on the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a narrow waterway through which nearly 10% of all global trade, including vast amounts of oil, passes every day. A war could easily disrupt this vital artery, sending shockwaves through the global economy. The region is already a crowded stage for international powers, with the United States, China, and France all having military bases in neighboring Djibouti. The active involvement of Russia and Iran on Eritrea's side adds a dangerous new dimension, risking a wider confrontation. Ultimately, Eritrea stands at a crossroads. The path it is on, one of aggressive military buildup and reliance on destabilizing foreign partners, leads towards conflict. Such a war would be catastrophic not only for its own people and for Ethiopia, but for the entire Horn of Africa and the global maritime trade that depends on its stability. The international community has called for restraint, but these calls have so far gone unheeded. The fate of the region now rests on